Deva. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Caitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirviseshasha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So let's continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 3, Chapter 2, Text 9, where Uddhav and Uddhav is remembering Lord Sri Krishna. Ingita Jana Puru Praudha Eka Ramascha Satvataha Satvatam Rishvam Sarve Bhuta Vasam Amam Sata. The Yadus were all experienced devotees, learned and expert in psychic study. Over and above this, they were always with the Lord in all kinds of relaxations. And still, they were only able to know Him as the one Supreme who dwells everywhere. In the Vedas, it is said that the Supreme Lord or the Paramatma cannot be understood simply by the strength of one's erudition or power of mental speculation. Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhyo na Medaya na Bhavna Shrutena. Katha Upanishad 1.2.23. He can be known only by one who has the mercy of the Lord. So if we try to understand Krishna by our own mental logic, trying to understand him with our mind, we will never be able to know Krishna. We need the mercy of the Lord to be able to know him. The Yadus were all exceptionally learned and experienced, but in spite of their knowing the Lord as the one who lives in everyone's heart, they could not understand that he's the original personality of Godhead. This lack of knowledge was not due to their insufficient erudition. It was due to their misfortune. In Vrindavan, however, the Lord was not even known as the Paramatma, because the residents of Vrindavan were pure, unconventional devotees of the Lord and could think of him only as their object of love. They did not know that he is the personality of Godhead. So the Yadus, they had the concept that Krishna is the Paramatma in everyone's heart. So then there was awe and reverence in their relationship with Krishna, because of course, if you know, oh, he's the Paramatma, he's dwelling in everyone's heart, so of course naturally you'll have that awe and reverence. So the love will be there, but the awe and reverence will also be there. The Yadus, or the residents of Dwarka, however, could know Lord Krishna as Vasudev, or the super soul living everywhere, but not as the Supreme Lord. As scholars of the Vedas, they verified the hymns Eko Deva Sarva Bhuta Dvishaha Antaryami and Vrishinam Paradevata. The Yadus therefore accepted Lord Krishna as the super soul incarnated in their family, and not more than that. So the Yadus, actually many of the Yadus were demigods and expansions of the demigods. Whereas the Brajbasis, most of them were Krishna's personal expansions, Krishna's personal associates from Golok Vrindavan. So of course in Golok Vrindavan, as we have been reading in the Krishna book, how the love for the Brajbasis' love for Krishna is so much, so deep, that they don't care if he's the Supreme Lord. It doesn't matter. Like the president's mom, it doesn't matter to her whether her son is president or no. She loves him. In the house, she's not going to call him my dear president, or she's not going to have that, that formality with him. She's still going to embrace him. She'll kiss him. She'll, my dear son, because the love is stronger in that relationship. So the Brajbasis' love for Krishna is so strong, it doesn't matter to them that Krishna is Lord. They don't even remember it, that he's the Lord. It's just pure loving dealings that the Brajbasis have with Krishna. Is this okay?
Yeah.
Yes. So text 10. So it's not that the Yadus are not exalted, they are exalted. But if a comparison is to be made, imagine having pastimes with Krishna, imagine seeing Krishna every day and eating with him every day, being in the assembly hall with him every day, or going sporting with him every day. So they are very exalted persons, that we shouldn't get that wrong. But where the ras is concerned, the Brajbasis are higher. So text 10. Devasya mayaya sprishta ye chanyad asad ashritaha brahmyate dhirna tad vakyer atmani uptat manoharo. Under no circumstances can the words of persons bewildered by the illusory energy of the Lord deviate the intelligence of those who are completely surrendered souls. Lord Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead according to all the evidences of the Vedas. He is accepted by all acharyas, including Sripad Sankaracharya. So Krishna is the Supreme Lord. All the Vedas are saying that. Everywhere, if we see the revealed scriptures, all the scriptures say Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Krishna is the Bhagavan Swayam. And Shankaracharya, he's the one who propounded the impersonalist theory that God is light, and that we are all like Aham Brahmasmi, that we are all God. Even he accepted that actually Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Initially, he would say that we are all one, we are God. But later, towards his ending pastimes, he said that Lord Narayan, he's above everyone. Lord Narayan is not an ordinary living entity. Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda Madamate, Mudamate. He said that worship Govinda, don't be a fool, worship him. But his followers don't follow him. But and Shankaracharya, he is an incarnation of Lord Shiva. He came specifically to bewilder the people. People who really don't want to know Krishna, he came to bewilder them. Because Krishna says, you don't want to know me, it's fine. I will make you forget me. I will propound such theory that you will not be able to know me. So, but when he was present in the world, different classes of men accepted him differently. And therefore, their calculations of the Lord were also different. Generally, persons who had faith in the revealed scriptures accepted the Lord as he is, and all of them merged into great bereavement when the Lord disappeared from the world. So when Krishna was present on the earth, not everyone saw him in the same way. Not everyone could understand that he's the Supreme Lord. As we can see how the Yadu's relationship with him, the Brajbasi's relationship with him, so each person knew him differently. Also, it's evident when Krishna enters the wrestling ring, which Kamsa organizes when he comes to Mathura. So as he's entering, how the different people situated in the different ring are reciprocating with him differently, how they are seeing him. So it's very beautifully mentioned at that time also. And then, of course, the devotees who knew him, they were, of course, very, very sad when he left the world. In the first canto, we have already discussed the lamentation of Arjuna and Yudhishthira, to whom the disappearance of Lord Krishna was almost intolerable up to the end of their lives. Yeah, when Yudhishthira heard that Lord Krishna is no more on the earth, he said, then our time is up also. Lord Krishna has wound up his pastimes and we don't need to live. So he retired, he gave up his kingdom to Maharaj Parikshit. And then all the Pandavas, they retired. They left their bodies. Because that is the separation the pure devotees feel from the Lord. They don't want to be away from the Lord. They want to be with the Lord, wherever he is. That is the attachment that the pure devotees have with the Lord. And it's so amazing, to have that deep attachment. We should also try to cultivate our attachment to Krishna. We have so many attachments. It's not that we don't have attachment. We have a lot of attachments, but we are attached to the wrong things. We are attached to the material energy of Krishna. We only thing what we have to do is we have to transfer our attachment to Krishna. And the more we hear about Krishna, then the more we will get attached to him. The more we chant his holy name, the more we will get attached to him. The Yadavas were only partially cognizant of the Lord, but they are also glorious because they had the opportunity to associate with the Lord, who acted as the head of their family. And they also rendered the Lord intimate service. The Yadavas and the other devotees of the Lord are different from those who wrongly calculated him to be an ordinary human personality. Such persons are certainly bewildered by the illusory energy. So it's the Yadavas knew correctly the position of Krishna. They knew him as Paramatma, as the super soul, and they had intimate love for him. But there were some people who couldn't recognize Krishna. One of them was the dhobi, the washerman. Kansa's dhobi, when Krishna went to Mathura and he asked the washerman, please give me some clothes. The washerman refused him. I said, no, I'm not going to give you these clothes. They are for the king. And then what did Krishna do? He beheaded the washerman. He beheaded him there. But at the same time, in the same Mathura, there was, I forgot his name. There was a person who was making garlands. And then he made beautiful garlands for Krishna and Balaram and he offered it to them. So different people, because he knew he's the Supreme Lord. So different people knew Krishna differently. It just depends on our desire, no? Do we actually want to know the Lord or no? If we don't want to know the Lord, then he covers himself. And then it's just Maya in front of us. But if we want to know the Lord, he lifts up this Maya curtain. They are hellish and are envious of the Supreme Lord. The illusory energy acts very powerfully on them because, in spite of their elevated mundane education, such persons are faithless and are infected by the mentality of atheism. They are always very eager to establish that Lord Krishna was an ordinary man who was killed by a hunter due to his many impious acts. In plotting to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and Jarasandha, the demoniac kings of the earth. Such persons have no faith in the statement of the Bhagavad Gita that the Lord is unaffected by the reactions of work. Na mam karmani limpati. According to the atheistic point of view, Lord Krishna's family, the Yadu dynasty, was vanquished due to being cursed by the Brahmanas for the sins committed by Krishna in killing the sons of Dhritarashtra, etc. All these blasphemies do not touch the heart of the devotees of the Lord because they know perfectly well what is what. Their intelligence regarding the Lord is never disturbed. But those who are disturbed by the statements of the asuras are also condemned. That is what Uddhav meant in this verse. So there are so many people who don't understand the Lord, and then they make up so many stories about the Lord without understanding. You know, we also have the habit, no? We don't know a person, but we will tell another person about, we don't know A, but we will tell to B about A. Oh, you know what? I think A does this and I think A likes this. We are not going to ask A what you like, what you don't like, and what are you doing, but we just make up things in our mind. So same way, people don't even leave Krishna. They make up many things about Krishna. You know, that, oh, he's just an ordinary living entity. Just because Krishna came to the material world, they think that, oh, Krishna's body is material, that Krishna is like us. It's just, imagine if Narendra Modi goes to visit the prison, and then he's just going to visit the prison out of his goodwill to see if there is any prisoner who's really changed in his heart and he can let that prisoner go. But then people start accusing Narendra Modi. Oh, you know, he went to prison. He must have done something wrong. Or he did this wrong, and that's why he was in prison. Now, who's the foolish one, you know, if we just make up things? So
that part which it says that they are always very eager to establish that Lord Krishna was an ordinary man who was killed by a hunter due to his many impious acts. Hunter?
yeah,
Was killed by a hunter. Krishna was killed by a hunter?
yeah. Well, he left the world in that way.
Achha.
He left the world in that way, that the hunter was there, and the hunter with the small piece of iron which was left behind, which came from Samba's womb. I don't know if you know the story. When Samba was cursed,
Samba is his
when
son, right?
Samba was his son. Yeah.
Yes, right.
When he was cursed, that because of him, well, okay. They were the Yadus, the younger Yadus. They went to the sages and they dressed up Samba as a woman and put something in his tummy area, saying that, oh, this lady's pregnant. What is she gonna give birth to? So the sages, of course, knew. And so they said, oh, whatever it gives birth to is going to be the cause of the destruction of your dynasty. So then they saw it was a lump of iron. So they went to Ugrasen and told him. So Ugrasen had this iron shredded very finely and thrown into the ocean. Then that same, and the one bit was left, which was thrown also in the ocean, and that bit was eaten by a fish. The fish was caught by a hunter, and the hunter made an arrow out of it. And then all the dust, it came to the shore, and the bamboo which grew along the shore, it was like as hard as iron. And so during the Maushala Lila, where the Yadus, they apparently get intoxicated and they fight with each other, it was these bamboo sticks that they picked up. And they apparently killed each other. And then at that time, Krishna was resting in the forest with his foot up, one foot on the other. You know how we put one foot on the knee of the other foot? Yeah. So he was sitting like that, and then a hunter mistook his foot to be a deer, and so he pierced an arrow in the foot of Krishna, and then Krishna apparently left his body at that time. Now, the reason Krishna made this whole pastime of the Yadus leaving, Krishna leaving in this way, is because it was time for them to leave the world. And so the Yadus, nobody else would kill them. They couldn't die. So he just made this pastime so that they could go back to the spiritual world, go back to their own positions. If they were demigods, they went back to the heavenly planets. If they were from the spiritual world, they went back there. And then Krishna also, because there were some people who are always atheists. They don't want to accept that Krishna's body is spiritual, that it is Satchidananda. So for them, he made this pastime. The devotees, of course, know that this was just an excuse of how Krishna left the world. But the people who want to believe that Krishna is an ordinary man, believe that yes, he was killed by a hunter and he died like that, and because it was all due to his sins. So Krishna is like that. If we desire to not know him as the Supreme Lord and we desire to know him as an ordinary person, he lets us believe it. But if somebody knows that he is, his body is transcendental and no way any arrow can pierce him and he can, his transcendental body can be hurt with an arrow, the devotees don't accept. This is just a pastime that Krishna played to leave the earth, to leave the world.
I've not heard of this pastime.
It will come in the 10th canto.
Okay.
After Bhagavatam.
Mm.
Yeah. And devotees don't like to speak of this pastime.
I
Devotees,
thought he just left like that, like after the Dwapar Yug, end of Dwapar Yug.
yeah, devotees don't like to speak because devotees don't like to speak about the separation from Krishna. No? They like to speak always of the Janmashtami. You see, every year you'll repeat the same pastimes. So many times you'll repeat the same pastimes of Lord Krishna's appearance, of his activities, of his killing this, that demon. But devotees don't like to speak about his pastime of leaving this world. Yeah. Is there? We will be reading it later. Yeah, in the 10th canto of Bhagavatam. Yeah. Anybody had anything to say about this? Any comments? Yeah. So, and I was thinking today is Vaman Dwadashi, so maybe we can speak a few minutes about Lord Vamandev. There's just a few minutes left.
Yeah.
And would anybody, if anybody had anything to share about Lord Vamandev, if anybody wanted to say anything.
I think you can tell us, please. That would be really nice.
Okay, so Lord Vamandev, he appeared as the son of Kashyap and Aditi, because Lord Indra, his throne was taken away by Bali Maharaj, who was the king of the demons, and so Indra approached to Krishna. He approached to Brahmaji, and then of course Brahmaji went to Lord Vishnu and said, okay, the demigods are misplaced from their place, what to do? And so Krishna said, okay, don't worry, I will come as the son of Aditi and Kashyap. And so he came as Lord Vamanadev. And he came as a dwarf. He didn't come as a tiny baby. He came, his form was like this, like a dwarf. He was born that way. And immediately when he was born like that, so then they said, okay, let's do his initiation ceremony also. All the demigods were there at that time. So like this, the appearance of the Lord is not like ours, like we are born from the womb of the mother and painful birth and then covered with all the all the different various liquids. No, but Lord Vamandev appeared like that, beautiful, very beautiful. Of course, he was like a dwarf, but he looked very beautiful. And immediately the demigods performed his initiation ceremony. They gave him gifts. Somebody gave him a water pot, a danda, an umbrella. And then as soon as he's appeared and they've done this initiation ceremony, and he goes immediately to Bali Maharaj. Like no time to waste, Imagine how we are born in this world, and then so many years we are just baby, infant, don't know what's happening, crying for milk, And here Lord appears and he immediately gets to do his, the reason why he's come for. He gets down to business as such. And yet we compare ourselves to him. And yet we will make up things about him. Anyway, he reaches where Bali Maharaj was having the sacrifice. And then, as everyone knows, that he asked Bali Maharaj for 3 steps of land, and Shukracharya could understand that this is Vishnu. So he told Bali Maharaj, don't give him. Don't give him. He's going to cheat you. He's going to take everything from you. Shukracharya was Bali Maharaj's guru, his spiritual master. Bali Maharaj was so dedicated to his spiritual master. And because of his dedication to his spiritual master, Bali Maharaj was so powerful. And Shukracharya had also brought Bali Maharaj back to life. Bali Maharaj had died in the battle, in the previous battle with the demigods. In spite of all this, when Shukracharya is telling Bali Maharaj, this is Vishnu, don't give him these 3 steps of land, Bali Maharaj said, if this is Vishnu, I will give it to him. What more better? Vishnu himself has come and asking me for 3 steps of land. What more can I ask for? So we can see how Bali Maharaj was so much indebted to Shukracharya. He was his spiritual master. They had such a good relationship. Yet, at the point of time where Shukracharya is saying that this, don't give it to him, Bali Maharaj immediately rejected, without any hesitation. Immediately he rejected Shukracharya and said, no, I will give to Vishnu. You know, so what would we do in our situation? Somebody who we are attached to says, no, don't give to Krishna. What would we do? And here Bali Maharaj is saying, everything is for Krishna. And that's why he personifies the Atma Nivedan, complete surrender to Krishna. And then we all know that Lord Vamandev, he expanded his body, and with 1 foot he covered the entire earthly planets, all the lower planets, with his 2nd foot the higher planets, so much so that his foot pierced the covering of the universe, and that's how Ganga Devi came to this earth. Otherwise, because Ganga Devi, she's coming from the spiritual world, so that's how she came to this earth, washing the feet of Vamandev. So she's like Charnamrit, no? Because she's washing the feet of Lord Vamandev. And then the 3rd foot, Vamandev kept on Bali Maharaj. And that's how Bali Maharaj became all fully glorious. To repay this, Vamandev became Bali Maharaj's doorkeeper in the Sutala planet. Imagine, Bali Maharaj gave him the 3 worlds, all his material possessions. And what did he get in return? He got the Lord in return. So, because he was attached to the Lord, so he got the Lord. And when you get the Lord, you get everything. He got a beautiful planet, Sutala, where Lord Vamandev has become his doorkeeper. He's protecting Vamandev over there. So
But why he gave him in the lower planet? No?
But actually, that Sutala is even more beautiful than Indraloka. It is more opulent than Indraloka.
Because, like, you know how we say the lower planets are hellish, no?
Yeah, but Sutala is not a hellish planet. Because Vamandev himself is there also, you know. So imagine.
So Vamandev is a doorkeeper.
Yeah, he's protecting. He's a doorkeeper there. Can we imagine the opulence of Bali Maharaj?
So he was a devotee, no? Of Lord Vishnu.
Yeah, because he is the grandson of Prahlad.
Yeah.
And because Prahlad is such a great devotee, and Lord Nishingadev had told Prahlad that all your future generations, I will protect them. Vamandev, to give special mercy to Bali Maharaj because of his relation with Prahlad, gave him this special mercy. Now, Bali Maharaj could have refused. He could have said, okay, I will follow Shukracharya and I will not give you the 3 steps of land. He had a choice.
But because Vamandev, he was a Brahmin, So it seems that Bali Maharaj used to be very generous with Brahmins.
Yeah, but still he could have refused. As Shukracharya is telling him, don't do to him, he could have still refused. He had the choice. And so he made the choice that this is Vishnu and he will take everything away. I'm okay with it. What more better for me than to do that, you know? And so we can try to learn from Bali Maharaj because we are so attached, you know, we don't want to give up anything. We want more and more. So what choices are we making? Because we have a choice too, right? At each and every moment. We have a choice. And then what choices are we making each time?
True. Very true.
So regarding this one, Srila Prabhupada also said one line that who is the real guru? Because Shukracharya guided him so well and he thought him to be the real guru, but the real guru is the one who takes you to Krishna, not away from Krishna. So if some guru in this world is telling that I am God, that is fake. But if they are telling that God is Krishna, I am just a representative, I'll take you to him. So that is the real guru, and we need to have a guru. So the real guru is the one who makes you one, like who introduces you to Krishna and gives you the love of Krishna, who takes you to Krishna. So this is a very, very important thing, as he told to all his devotees also. Like there was a scandal kind of a thing happening in New York when he was in 1970, and few devotees said that Prabhupada is God. And then he said, no, this is not what I'm preaching. This is wrong. I'm telling you that I am not God. Krishna is God. I'll take you there. So this is a very, very important, one of the most important thing that we need to remember, that a guru will always take us to Krishna and tell us about Krishna.
Yes, thank you so much for bringing out this important point. It's true. Thank you. And then we can stop on this note for today.
Yes.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shilpa Shyam ki jai, Vaman Dev ki jai, Vaman ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.